Leeds International School, Primary 4, First Term, History, King Devanampiyatissa. Objectives: King Devanampiyatissa, how Buddhism came to Sri Lanka, places built by King Devanampiyatissa. Contents: King Devanampiyatissa's family, King Ashoka, Arhat Mahinda, Teri Sangamitta, places built by King Devanampiyatissa, and exercises.
Children, do you know we had a great history in Sri Lanka? And we had so many kings also. Do you know who was the first king of Sri Lanka? Yes, it was King Vijaya. He was the first king of Sri Lanka. So after the King Vijaya, King Panduvasudeva became king. He was the second king of Sri Lanka. Then after King Panduvasudeva, who became king? Can you guess? Yes, it was King Pandukabaya. He was the third king of Sri Lanka. Then, after the death of King Pandukabaya, his son Muttasiva became king. He was the king who laid out the beautiful Mahameghavana Park. King Muttasiva was the fourth king of Sri Lanka. So this King Muttasiva had 10 sons and 2 daughters. Among all, the second son, Prince Devanampiyatissa, was the most intelligent one. Then he became the king after Muttasiva's death. So children, in this lesson we are going to study about the great King Devanampiyatissa. So after the death of his father, that means after the death of King Muttasiva, Devanampiyatissa became the king of Sri Lanka.
At the time of his consecration, it is said that many wonders came to pass, that the gems that were buried deep under the earth and at the bottom of the sea came to the surface, as well as pearls and gold also came from the sea. People collected all these and brought to the king.
King Devanampiyatissa had many friends around the world. Among them, King Devanampiyatissa had a good friend in India. He was King Ashoka. But they had not met each other. They had been exchanging gifts and messages to envoys. When King Devanampiyatissa saw all the treasure brought to him, he thought, I should send all this priceless treasure to my best friend Ashoka. So, King Devanampiyatissa sent all these treasure to King Ashoka through his group. The leader of this group was Prince Aritta. After go to India, King Ashoka gave warm welcome and gave many titles also to this group. Prince Aritta was made a commander and rest were given various other titles. After that, King Ashoka also wanted to send a return gift to King Devanampiyatissa. Then King Ashoka discussed with his ministers and decided what should be sent as a return gift. king decided that all the requirements needed for a coronation ceremony should be sent. As well as there was a special message for King Devanampiyatissa. This message was, I am a disciple who has sought refuge in the triple gem. You too embrace this faith. You can have second coronation using all the necessities that I am sending here with. Children, here triple gem means Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So, King Ashoka told to King Devanampiyatissa, now I am a Buddhist. You also become a Buddhist. Okay, we'll see now who was King Ashoka. King Ashoka was the best friend of King Devanampiyatissa. He lived in India. And King Ashoka's grandfather was King Chandragupta. His father was King Bindusara. King Ashoka had many brothers. So Ashoka had to kill a number of his brothers to lay claim to the throne. Because of that, he was named Chandashoka. Chandashoka means the terrible. After became the king, Ashoka ruled from his capital, Pataliputra. Earlier, King Ashoka also not a Buddhist. So, let us see now how he became a Buddhist. One day, the king stood at the window of the palace looking outside. So, he saw a young hermit who was walking in measured step. That young hermit was looking quiet and calm. This was the novice Nigroda. After seeing this small monk, king was pleased. So, he sent his men and invited the novice Nigroda to the palace. The king welcomed the young novice and said, this was the novice Nigroda. Look for a suitable seat and sit down, please. So, this small monk looked around and went to the throne and sat there. Seated on the throne, he preached Dhamma to the king and his men. So, after listening to Dhamma, the king Ashoka became a Buddhist. Since then, he came to be known as Dharmashoka. King Ashoka had a son and daughter. After listening to the Dhamma, they also became Buddhist. After that, they attained Arahathood. They were Arahat Mahinda and Theri Sangamitta. Let us see now how Buddhism came to Sri Lanka. King Ashoka's son Arahat Mahinda brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka. After sending that letter, King Ashoka sent his son Arahat Mahinda to Sri Lanka to preach Dhamma. Not only that, as a result of Third Buddhist Council held in India, the son of King Dharmashoka, Arahat Mahinda came to Sri Lanka. King Ashoka's son Arahat Mahinda came to Sri Lanka on a Poson Poya day. So the same day, King Devanampiyatissa also went for deer hunting near Mihintala rock. There he saw Arahat Mahinda on top of the Mihintala rock. Arahat Mahinda came to Sri Lanka with 5 other monks and 1 upasaka. They were Ittiya, Uttiya, Baddala, Sambala, Sumana Samanira and Banduka Upasaka.
They said to King Devanampiyatissa, Tissa, Tissa. Then they said this gatha. Samanamayang Maharaja Dhammarajassa Savaka Taveva Anukampaya Jambuddhipa Idagata. Arahat Mahinda told, Maharajathumani, අපි ධර්මරාජයාණන් වහන්සේගේ ශ්‍රාවකයෝ වෙමු. තොප කෙරෙහි වූ අනුකම්පාවෙන් මෙහි පැමිණියෙමු. After listening to that gatha, King Devanampiyatissa asked from Arahat Mahinda, Who are you? From where you came? I didn't see you ever in this jungle before. Then Arahat Mahinda told, Dear King, your best friend King Ashoka sent us here. Then Arahat Mahinda asked some questions from King to test his intelligence. Arahat Mahinda showed the king a mango tree and asked him the name of that tree. Tissa, what is this tree? It is a mango tree. Is there yet another mango tree beside this? Thera asked. Yes, there are many mango trees, said the king. Then the Thera asked, Are there yet other trees beside this mango tree and the other mango trees? Then the king replied, There are many trees, sir, but they are not mango trees. Then asked Arahat Mahinda, Are there yet other trees beside the other mango trees and the trees that are not mango trees? Yes, there is this mango tree, was the king's reply. To test the king further, the Thera asked, Have you got relatives, O king? There are many, sir, said the king. The Thera's next question was, Are there any who are not your relatives? There are more who are not my relatives, sir, said the king. Then the Thera asked, Is there yet anyone besides the relatives and the others? The king's reply was, Yes, myself, sir. The Thera was very happy to notice the king's intelligence and said, You, the ruler of men, you have a sharp mind. After the conversation, Arahat Mahinda realized the King Devanampiyatissa was an intelligent king. Then Arahat Mahinda preached Dhamma to King Devanampiyatissa. After listening to Dhamma, King Devanampiyatissa became the first Buddhist in Sri Lanka. After that, he did many services for Buddhism. The king donated the Mahameghavana Park to the Sangha, and a number of religious centers were constructed in Anuradhapura city. Arrival of Theri Sangamitta. After became a Buddhist, the King Devanampiyatissa asked something special to worship. Then the Arahat Mahinda sent a message to India, sent a sapling of Sri Mahabodhi tree with her sister Theri Sangamitta. Sangamitta, Arahat Mahinda's sister, came to Sri Lanka. She brought with her a branch of the sacred Bodhi tree in India. With her arrival, the Bhikkhuni order was established here in Sri Lanka. King organized a ceremony to plant the Sri Mahabodhi tree in Anuradhapura. Today also we can see that Sri Mahabodhi tree in Anuradhapura. King Devanampiyatissa is famous for the establishment of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Let's see what are the places built by King Devanampiyatissa. The king donated the Mahameghavana or Mahamevuna Park to the Sangha.
King built the Thuparama Chaitya in Anuradhapura. This was the first Chaitya built in Anuradhapura. King Devanampiyatissa took instructions and advice from Arahat Mahinda to build stupas.
He built number of places for Arahat monks. Mahaviharaya, later it developed to a university. It was a university for monks.
Then King Devanampiyatissa built Samadhi Buddha statue in Anuradhapura, as well as he built Isuramuniya.
And a shrine was built in Vessagiriya.
Not only temples, he did many services to Sri Lanka. He built the Tissavava in Anuradhapura. It provides water for agriculture. This tank covers huge area in Anuradhapura.
After king became a Buddhist, the people soon followed him. People who were used to various modes of worship like worshipping trees, rocks, sun and even devils began to change.
During his time, our country remained a peaceful and prosperous one. He was one of the greatest kings in Sri Lanka. Entire society became Buddhists because of this intelligent king. King Devanampiyatissa ruled the country for a period of 60 years. He was one of the greatest kings in Sri Lanka. During his time, the country remained a peaceful and prosperous one. Summary: he was one of the greatest kings in Sri Lanka. King Devanampiyatissa was famous for the establishment of Buddhism in our country. Entire society became Buddhists because of this intelligent king. He did many services for Buddhism, agriculture and for people. As a result of the friendship between King Devanampiyatissa and King Ashoka, Arahat Mahinda brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka. Children, after listening to this lesson, you have to do these exercises also. Who was King Devanampiyattissa's father? Who was his best friend? What was the return gift sent by King Ashoka? Who brought Buddhism to Sri Lanka? Name some places built by King Devanampiyatissa. How many years did he rule the country?